4, breaking news. This is WYFF News 4 at 6 in high definition.
Here comes the ambulance. As you can see, the driver is in head-to-toe full biomedical gear. The windows you can't see, they used a different one, but there's plastic all inside of the ambulance so you cannot see in or out.
That ambulance was carrying the 5th American infected with the Ebola virus to be brought back to the United States. Ashoka Mukpo arrived at Nebraska Medical Center late this morning.
Mukpo is just the latest American to be treated here in the U.S. He was freelancing for an NBC News crew when he became sick in Liberia. Before him, an unnamed contractor who was being treated at an isolation unit in Emory University Hospital was sickened in Sierra Leone. And over the summer, 3 American missionaries working in West Africa became infected. They are Nancy Wright-Bull, Dr. Kent Brantley, and Dr. Rick Sacra. Those 3 were able to recover from the illness.
And right now there is another patient in the U.S. being treated for Ebola. You may know by now his name is Thomas Duncan, and today Texas doctors tell us he is critically ill. They've turned to what they call investigational treatment now, an experimental medicine, trying to keep him alive.
And again, the other infected American arrived in Nebraska earlier today. Chin Doan with our report tonight.
Day 1 for Ashoka Mukpo here at the Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha involves rest and evaluation. This is Mukpo's arrival this morning on a specially equipped jet. The aircraft landed at Omaha's airport, but the transfer to a waiting ambulance took place far away from the passenger area, and Mukpo was able to walk from the plane to the gurney before entering the ambulance. In a news conference, Mukpo's parents said their son is tired, but thankful to be back in the U.S. and receiving medical treatment.
He's enormously relieved to be here. Of course, it's still quite frightening, but he's hanging in and he sounds very strong. And I think he shares in the relief of the rest of his family that he's been able to come back for good medical treatment here.
The team inside the Nebraska Medical Center's biocontainment unit will spend these first few hours evaluating Mukpo and consulting with him about the course of treatment. It's not yet certain if experimental drugs will be used, as was the case with the previous patient here, Dr. Rick Sacra. But the staff says lessons learned from treating Sacra will be used on this new patient. Right now, health officials are looking into exactly how Mukpo came into contact with Ebola. His parents say he told them he was disinfecting a truck someone died in and may have been splashed by some liquids. At the Nebraska Medical Center, I'm Chin Doan.
Chin, thank you for that. Former Anderson County Councilman Ron Wilson faces even more time in federal prison tonight. He pleaded guilty to conspiracy to hide assets from federal investigators. We're going to show you some exclusive video of Wilson being brought out of the courthouse. This happened just a little over an hour ago. Wilson has been serving, you may know by now, a 19-year sentence for a Ponzi scheme in which nearly 800 people lost $57 million. Now in court, investigators said they talked to Wilson numerous times in an effort to recover some assets for the victims. The investigators say Wilson gave 2 ammunition canisters filled with $400,000 worth of cash and coins to his wife and brother. They say it was an attempt to hide the money from the government. The assistant U.S. attorney says Wilson gave the money to his brother and then told him to, quote, take care of it. Cassie and Timothy Wilson, the wife and brother, are also facing charges, but they did not have a hearing today. Wilson could get a $250,000 fine and 5 more years in prison if he's convicted.
Many personal items as well as records for electronic devices were obtained by law enforcement in the case of Timothy Jones Jr. He is the man accused of killing his 5 children. Jones was arrested in Mississippi. Police say they found the children's bodies in Alabama. Jones faces 5 counts of murder in Lexington County, where investigators believe he killed his children. Warrants show several items were taken from the Jones family home. We do have the entire list of those items posted on our website, WYFF4.com. Just look in the media window. Today, the Supreme Court cleared the way for same-sex marriages in 11 states. The High Court refused to hear cases from states hoping to keep their marriage bans in place. That means lower court rulings declaring the bans unconstitutional will stay in place.
She came up to me crying and said, I think we can get married today. I mean, it makes a big difference when it's in your own state, because even if we were to get married in another state, it wouldn't have been valid when we came back home.
Join my life with you.
Opponents say they are disappointed by the Supreme Court's ruling. A gay rights group says gay marriages are unlikely to start immediately in South Carolina, despite the High Court's decision not to hear an appeal. Alliance for Full Acceptance says the Virginia ruling will have to be certified in South Carolina, and county clerks will wait for instructions from federal judges on how to proceed with any same-sex marriage licenses.
South Carolina's new congressional maps will stay the same. The Supreme Court rejected an appeal from black South Carolina voters to take another look at the newly drawn districts. The High Court has already upheld the new map in a 2012 decision, but opponents of it asked the lower court to set aside that ruling in light of another recent Supreme Court decision that struck down key provisions of the Voting Rights Act. Well, the lower court found no need to re-examine the previous findings. It ruled South Carolina districts are fair and don't discriminate against racial minorities. But major changes are on the way for voters in North Carolina. The 4th District Court of Appeals has declared some parts of that state's new voting law unconstitutional. WYFF News 4's Nigel Robertson tonight with the impact.
Here in North Carolina, Henderson County to be exact, take a look. The voting machines are ready, and it's still a month out from Election Day. But one thing voters need to be aware of is that the voting process has changed once again. So we wanted to make sure that the voters know what's different. Some of the sweeping changes to the voting law in the Tar Heel State were found unconstitutional. So as of now, early voting is only 10 days, now a week less, and begins October 23rd. Same-day registration is once again allowed during that time, and you don't have to be in your assigned voter location.
You can go to any precinct and do a provisional ballot.
But wait, there's more.
One of the major changes on the ballot this year is there's no straight party voting anymore in North Carolina. So the voters will have to go through the ballot and pick and choose their candidates.
Even voters on the streets of Hendersonville suggest people get ready now.
Get everything in order, get your ducks in a row, make sure your voter registration, all that information is up to date so that when you walk in to vote, you're able to do so.
When's the best time to do that?
As early as possible.
And if you have any questions, your best bet is to go ahead now and call your local elections office. In Henderson County, North Carolina, Nigel Robertson, WYFF News 4.
Also, this year in North Carolina, you will not need a photo ID to vote in November, but next year you will. This reminder, too, the U.S. Senate race there in North Carolina is a closely watched one. It could tip the balance of power on Capitol Hill. And tomorrow night, the incumbent Senator Kay Hagan and her challenger Thom Tillis will debate. It'll happen at 7 o'clock, and we'll air that debate live right here on WYFF 4.
Let's chat a little bit of weather now. This truly was a stunning fall day.
So nice. And this past weekend was so nice. Yesterday was gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And so was Saturday, even though it was a little bit breezy. And, of course, it was cold, you know.
It was.
Saturday night into Sunday morning. Temperatures 20s and 30s there. Looks like the growing season has come to an end, at least briefly, in through the mountainous areas. Not the upstate, though, Gabrielle. And as you can see, little pieces of energy in the upper atmosphere are swinging in very quickly from the southwest. Best chance of that rain will be in the mountains of North Carolina, the mountains of South Carolina, northeastern Georgia. In fact, it's about ready to end in northeastern Georgia. But north of Interstate 85, that's the best chance of looking at rain as we go through this evening. And some good soaking rains, to say the least. Right over you folks in Salem, also in Rosman, Brevard, beginning to move into Hendersonville. It's raining right now in downtown Asheville. And there were a few thunder showers earlier in that system, but as it moves into a more stable environment, things are weakening pretty fast.